UFC 317 is going down this weekend. We got Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira. I'm predicting every single fight on the card, starting with the very first prelim, ending with the main event. Let's get straight to it, no time to waste. Niko Price versus Jacoby Smith. Niko Price, he calls himself the hybrid, but the dude fights like he's an indica. He has a lazy style nowadays. He's kind of slow. He's kind of sluggish. I mean, how dangerous is Niko Price really? His last finish was by upkick in 2019. What else happened in his career lately? He got knocked out for Robbie Lawler's retirement fight? I'm going Jacoby Smith. He's explosive. He's fast. He got a knockout on his UFC debut. Jacoby Smith is going to take this one. He's going to get the knockout. Probably third round. Next up, we got Diniz versus... That's not Justin Tafa. Elvin Hines. Who the hell is Elvin Hines? They switched this card up like crazy. How many people pulled out of this card? Diniz. I know who that is. I don't know how I'm going to tell you about Elvin Hines. Diniz, he's a good kickboxer. He's a pretty good striker. He dropped Tybura. But his takedown defense is where he's lacking. You could easily take him down, catch him off guard, and you could out-grapple him. Tybura destroyed him with ground and pound. If you've seen that fight, it was pretty brutal at the end. He's kind of hopeless on the ground. So if Elvin Hines is a good wrestler, I could see him getting this win. But it looks like Diniz is the huge favorite. If Elvin Hines is trying to strike with him, he's in for a long night. I'm going Diniz. By how? I mean, what, is this guy in his UFC debut? Yeah, I'm going Diniz by knockout. I mean, these UFC debut guys aren't doing good. You got to get adapted to the climate. You know, you got to get your feet wet a little bit when you go to the UFC. Next up, on the early prelims, SD Dumas is back. I thought he was in some serious trouble. 21 Savage is back. SD Dumas versus Jackson Mcvey. Who the hell is Jackson Mcvey? Is this International Fight Week or is this an Apex debut fest? How many UFC debuts are we going to get on International Fight Week? Prelims or not. Unless they're a hyped prospect. What the hell are you doing on International Fight Week cards? I mean, these guys don't even have profile pictures on the early prelims. This is bad. But SD Dumas, you got to step it up a little bit. You know, John Jones, he has all the criminal charges. I know you've been getting in trouble. But, all right, never mind. SD Dumas, he last fought UFC 314. That was the biggest pay-per-view of the year. And like I was saying, he's a good striker, but he's not great. He could wrestle, he could grapple a little bit. But when he goes to the ground, he just plays it safe. He locks up a body lock and does nothing with it. I would say his striking is a little bit more of his strong suit. His last fight, Polish power messed him up. I'm not talking about Jan Blachowicz. We're talking about Michał Leśniak. I call him Polish power too. He did his thing. Actually, that was a controversial stoppage. Everyone was freaking out about that stoppage. The punches that Michał Leśniak were throwing and landing on SD Dumas, they weren't landing. SD Dumas was blocking him. He was on his back on the ground. It looked horrible. It looked like he was getting destroyed, but he was blocking all the punches. Problem is, was he trying to get up? Was he trying to stand up? No, he wasn't. He was just trying to, I don't know what, gas out his opponent. Look, this is a fight. This is as real as it gets to a fight. But we gotta be real here. It's a sport. It's a competition. You can't just be laying on your back, letting someone punch you. You gotta be trying to get on your hip, cause a scramble, get to your knee, stand up. So yeah, a lot of controversy about his last fight. It is what it is. He's back. I'm gonna pick SD Dumas. He's well-rounded. He's not great anywhere. But who the hell is Jackson Mcvey? Who the hell is Elvin Hines? Is this how we're starting International Fight Week? Half the guys don't have profile pictures? They've never fought in the UFC? Dana White, man. He's too busy at the boxing Canelo press conference, huh? Moving on from the early prelims, We're going to the normal prelims. We got Terrence McKinney versus Slava Borshchev. I'm going Terrence McKinney. Terrence McKinney, he's a good wrestler. He's good on the ground. He could tap you out with a rear naked choke. And everything he throws is intended to knock you out. He likes to strike. He's dangerous. And Slava Borshchev is a good kickboxer. But I don't think he can keep up with the young guys these days. Or the up-and-comers at least. I don't think Slava Claus is too old. But the up-and-comers are all beating him. Chase Hooper beat him. Tom Nolan beat him. Yeah, every T-Rex fight is by finish. This guy's a killer-be-killed fighter. And I think he's going to be doing the killing in this fight. Alright, next up, we got Vivian Araujo versus Tracy Cortez. Are you a guy watching this? Who more looks like you? Alright, next up, we got Hyder Amil versus Jose Miguel Delgado. Let's just call him Jose Delgado. Oh my gosh. So Amil is tough. He's an undefeated wrestler. He moves forward, or he marches forward. He stalks you down. He puts you against the fence. Heavy pressure. It's not technical. It's not all pretty, but he can make it ugly. He has to make it ugly. He thrives in the ugly fights. But Jose Delgado, I believe he's a huge favorite here. He's got flashy moves. He's got really good footwork. I see why he's a favorite. I think he's going to have his hands full. I'm interested in this fight. I'm going Jose Delgado. Next up, we got the main event of the prelims. We got the Joker, Jack Hermansson, versus RoboCop, Gregory Rodrigues. Two cool nicknames, the Joker and RoboCop. Jack Hermansson's last fight was what? Joe Pyfer? What was that, 2 years ago? He beat another power hitter, meathead Joe Pyfer. Doesn't have a lot of tools in the toolbox, but man, he's got power. He's a huge middleweight, much like RoboCop, Jack Hermansson's opponent. So you would think Joe Pyfer would be a perfect preparation to fight RoboCop. And you're right, but damn, that was a long time ago. And Jack Hermansson only won that fight because it was 5 rounds. Not saying if it was scheduled for 3, Jack wouldn't win. But we all know Joe Pyfer slows down in the later rounds, and Jack Hermansson, he can hang in the later rounds. He's not a good striker, but he has endurance, right? This fight's 3 rounds. Shit, if you give Joe Pyfer a rematch for 3 rounds, I might pick Joe Pyfer. I'm picking RoboCop. RoboCop's got more to offer, more to show than Joe Pyfer. Oh, by the way, Paulo Costa should have been in this slot. Paulo Costa pulled out. And his opponent was who? Kopylov. We could have had Costa versus Kopylov. Instead, we're getting Talbot versus Lima on the main card. Paying Talbot. This guy's the bantamweight Izzy Adesanya. I know that because he's all about anime, and he's a good striker, and he's a tall guy for his weight class. This guy has an orb, black circle tattooed right there below his chest. And then he's got that same black circle on his back, like a black orb going through his body, where he's channeling his powers. I'm surprised Izzy didn't do that. Peyton Talbot got it. I guess he's going to channel his powers with his black orb in his chest. But Talbot's got good striking. He's good at switching stances. He's got fluid movement, good footwork. Even though he lost to Barcelos, he had his moments. He backed him against the cage. He was unleashing punch combinations. He mixes in, little flashy moves. He might throw a spinning heel kick or a wheel kick here and there. He's kind of helpless on the ground, but he always tries to work his way back up, He always kept trying to stand up. He didn't really have quit in his eyes. I'll give him that. But when he has his moments, he looks good. He's always in the fight, at least his last fight. Felipe Lima is unpredictable. This guy is clearly a better grappler than Talbot. But Lima can strike too. I mean, his last fight, he was throwing hook kicks, flying knees, spinning back fists. This guy's not afraid to trade. But for some reason, I feel like Peyton Talbot is more fluid on the striking side. I feel like Talbot can get his combos faster. I feel like he can get the punches there quicker. I feel like his reach and his height is going to help him a little bit. I don't think Lima's going to do what Barcelos did. I think he's more of an exciting fighter than that. I'm going Peyton Tabit by decision. I don't think he's knocking out Lima. I'll be impressed. But after what I seen his last fight, I don't know if he's knocking anyone out this fight. I got him winning a 3-round decision. Who do we got next? Brandon Royval versus Joshua Van. And look at that. Another fighter pulled out. Thank God Joshua Van put on his cape. He put on his superhero cape. And he saved a fight. But it was supposed to be Royval versus Manel Cap. What is going on with this card? Seriously. People are calling this card stacked. They're comparing it to what? An Apex event? How could anyone in their right mind call this stacked? This is an average pay-per-view back in the day. This is a 7 out of 10 tops. And it's only a 7 because it's carried by the main event. Alright, let's just technically break this shit down. This is a prediction video. We gotta predict. Royval versus Van. Brandon Royval, he's a southpaw. That's always tricky for an opponent, right? Southpaws are a little awkward. Royval, he's got the experience. We know that. He's been there. He's done that. He's fought the who's who. He won some. He lost some. Brandon Royval, he's got good in and out movement. Joshua Van is the craftier striker in my eyes. He's like the flyweight Max Holloway. Volume boxers. And they pick up as the rounds go. Unlimited cardio. Great takedown defense. They could stand up if you try to take them down. Good at countering. Joshua Van's got more power for his size though. I see future champion. He picks up as the rounds go on. I'm not going to stop picking Joshua Van now. Next fight, we got the featured fight. I gotta like my chances in the striking if I'm Moicano. Dariush got knocked out back to back by Armin and Charles with knees up the middle. These aren't just punch knockouts. Knees up the middle, knocking him out. His reaction time slowed. If I'm Moicano, this is what I'm doing. Strike with him. Stay safe. Out jab. I literally think Moicano's just gonna edge out Dariush. Uh-oh, we're already at the co-main event. Is this International Fight Week? Anyway, Pantoja versus Kai Kara France. Now that I think about it, Pantoja's only losing by knockout. I'm worried for Kai Kara France in the scrambles. If Pantoja starts putting him against the cage, getting takedowns, and then Kai Kara France has to keep working his way back up round after round, and they start getting in scrambles, that'll take away some of that knockout power from Kara France. Pantoja's striking. If Kai Kara France can get a read on that, if he can use his footwork to slow down those takedowns, to not make them happen as frequently, keep his back off the cage. He knows Pantoja's going to move forward. He knows Pantoja is going to walk him down. It's no secret. Hit him with some counters. Let him walk into it. I'm going Kai Kara France. And that's a scary pick because the only way I see him winning is by knockout. Alright, Ilia Topuria. He's got great head movement. He moves forward. He's got KO power. Not only that, before he knocks you out with his hands, he chops your low leg. He chops your lead leg with that low kick. And it's thudding. It's powerful. He can slow you down with that. He was chopping Max Holloway's legs with that. He was doing it to Volk. He was doing it to Bryce. He's got an underrated leg kick. Joe Rogan's going to be freaking out when Ilia Topuria leg kicks Charles Oliveira. Ilia Topuria is going to march Charles down. And he might not even have to march him down. Charles Oliveira moves forward. And that's what Topuria wants. We all seen Dustin Poirier versus Charles Oliveira. I think it's going to look a lot like that fight. Back and forth action for a couple rounds, 3 rounds. But instead of Dustin Poirier giving up his back, Charles Oliveira is going to be forced to strike more because Topuria can actually grapple. He could threaten Charles on the ground, just like Charles could threaten him. Topuria submitted Bryce. He took down Max Holloway. He grapples with Merab. You might think Oliveira could smoke him on the ground, but not so fast. Not so fast. Oliveira couldn't even finish Chandler on the ground the second time. He had Armin in a Darce choke for a good 30 seconds. He couldn't get the finish. And Charles was the shit. When Charles was champ, that might have been the most exciting 3-fight run in lightweight history. But we all know no fight is guaranteed. I would be a fool not to bring up what Charles brings to the table. I mean, look, Charles has power. The knees up the middle. They can get in that clinch. Charles loves to get in the Muay Thai clinch. Knees up the middle. His front snap kick, he always jams you in the gut with it. It could ruin your cardio. It could zap your energy. It hurts more than it looks on TV. What else does Charles bring? He brings a lot. He's got underrated power. He loves that uppercut when they're in close. He has a super brutal uppercut. He lands that all the time. I don't know if people notice that, but I still think Charles is going to get cracked, you know. He really is. He's there to be hit. He's not Mr., slip and rip. He's not going to be rolling under hooks. He's just not that guy. Charles's defense is his offense. If Charles isn't throwing, he has no defense. That's why he's so exciting. That's why he throws so much. That's his style. His defense is his offense. And I think Charles is going to do good the first 2 rounds. But as each round goes on, Topuria stalks you down. And he gets closer to finding your chin each minute of every round. Topuria's going to find the button. He's going to hit Charles right there on the button. He's going to shut Charles Oliveira's lights out. That's how I see this fight going. It's going to be close till it's not. Ilia Topuria is going to be crowned the new lightweight champ. That's my predictions for UFC 317. If you like these predictions, comment down below. If you fuck with this channel, if you like this MMA content, hit subscribe, and I'll keep dropping. Peace.